the flood was supposed to end them. Genesis 6 says the Nephilim were on earth, and God sent the flood to wipe them out. But Numbers 13:33, written 800 years later in a completely different context, mentions Nephilim again, living in Canaan, being seen by Moses' own scouts.
Numbers 13. Moses sends 12 spies into Canaan to assess the land before the Israelites enter. They come back with a report. Verse 33. We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Enoch come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them.
The text doesn't explain how they survived. The flood narrative in Genesis doesn't address it. The connection is implied, not resolved. Which means either the flood was not global, or the Nephilim lineage continued through someone on the ark, or the text is using Nephilim as a descriptor for a category of being that precedes and survives the flood account.
Here's where the plot thickens. The Anakim, the giant clans of Canaan, appear repeatedly in the conquest narratives. Deuteronomy 2 lists them alongside the Rephaim and Emim. Joshua 11:22 says Joshua destroyed the Anakim from the hill country, but survivors fled to Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. Gath is where Goliath is from.
1 Samuel 17 identifies Goliath as a Philistine from Gath. 2 Samuel 21 then lists 4 more warriors from Gath, described as descendants of Rapha, the giant lineage. The text is threading a genealogy from Nephilim in Genesis 6 through Anakim in Numbers 13, through the Rephaim, through Goliath, through 4 named warriors in Gath.
The book of Enoch fills the gap the Bible leaves open. It says 10% of the Nephilim spirits, the disembodied souls of the Watcher-human hybrids, were permitted to remain on earth as evil spirits after the flood. They weren't killed. They were converted to a different form. The flood destroyed their bodies. Their nature persisted.
Michael Heiser, Old Testament scholar, PhD from University of Wisconsin, documents this bloodline thread in the unseen realm. His argument: the conquest of Canaan isn't primarily a land grab. It's a targeted campaign to eliminate the Nephilim bloodlines from the territory. The divine mandate for violence in the conquest narratives is explicitly tied to who was living there.
Comment Nephilim for the full source breakdown. We go deeper on the Watcher-Nephilim conquest connection on the Promethean depths, link in bio.